Hey, Quants, just going to do a real quick rundown here, more just to keep myself up to practice and try to stick to a goal of posting some more frequent videos. So, not a whole lot. Bitcoin's still looking good. It looks like it might be topping out kind of at this resistance line here. That could just be a short-term top. Who really knows, right? In the beginning of October, if you follow Eric Krown, you've seen that statistically Bitcoin will tend to pull back in October. So this might be a nice spot for it to pull back. We also should have a bull moon coming up pretty soon. And if we look back at some of these signals, obviously it's not going to happen in every case, but it can still, after coming up a little bit for a little bit of time, you can still get that bull moon and get a nice pop. So we've already seen a nice pop, but hopefully, hopefully if you're long and you want to be long, we see that bull moon in a few days, and we get a nice continuation of this. So something else here, I saw a few people mention this. I don't really think this is a really great pattern here, but you have a potential W bottom here. It's a little bit asymmetrical, so I wouldn't necessarily consider this a super valid pattern, but just to measure it here, if we have that trend line and we follow that trend line up, looks like we could get upwards of a 127K. So just as a short-term signal. If I'm looking over on the stochastics here that I use, we got a hard buy signal. So this hard buy signal is essentially just when we see a cross of the two oscillators in the stochastic. Knife is still getting high. Looks like it's, if we're following trend lines or we're using trend lines on the knife, could be topping out. I mean, that potential lines here, that could just be short term. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a little bit of a pullback in the weekend, and then we can get some continuation next week. MACD, still plenty of room for that to run if it's going to be consistent with the historical tops. So the other thing that I wanted to show is, I'll just go ahead and hide some of these things that I'm not really using, is the strategy that I mentioned. So if I throw on this, the master strategy that I use for discretionary trading, as I mentioned before, I did code this up before, so I just kind of wanted to show, there's not a lot of data here. But again, this is the very first strategy years ago that I implemented. First strategy that I was just like a bit of an epiphany for myself, in the sense that it was the first strategy that I was able to actually code and it was profitable. So even though there are not a lot of trades here, I've seen this play out over multiple years, and so I have high confidence in this specific strategy, which is one of the reasons I use it when I'm doing discretionary trading. And so currently, if we're looking at this, so we're up 270 or 67%, only 16 trades, 50% profitable. So just wanted to share that. And I think, the other thing that I wanted to mention, let me just go ahead and turn that off for now, is the volume. Also, volume is picking up, considering we're seeing increasing volume with increasing price. That's definitely positive. You've probably seen a lot of people talk about this. You don't want to see increasing price with decreasing volume. That divergence tends to be negative, and price will historically not continue off of that type of a signal. So all things still look positive for Bitcoin. Looks like we still got some room to run here. I think that will be it for today. Peace, Quants.